Hello and welcome to episode 16 of The West is the Best Show. Today I'm going to be talking about something that I think will, if you're a fan of Donald Trump, it's definitely a weapon you'll be able to use in your favor. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. So, today, you may be asking yourself, Andrew, why are you dressed like a peasant? Because I was at a bachelor party last night and I didn't plan. So, it's my fault. I'm sorry. I wish I looked better for you. But anyways, we're still going to have a fun show today. Thanks for spending your time with me. We're going to talk about Donald Trump and how consistent he's been. He's been talking about the same shit for like 30 years. And so I kind of want to show you some of the highlights of his consistency. He's had the same stances and opinions and saying the exact same shit he's saying today for since the early 80s. So we have a couple clips and we're going to play them for you in just a second whenever we can pull them up. And we're going to go clip by clip. And I'm going to give you the commentary, the lowdown on the hoedown.
Would you like to be the President of the United States?
I really don't believe I would run it, but I would like to see somebody as the president who could do the job, and there are very capable people in this country.
Why wouldn't you dedicate yourself to public service?
Because I think it's a very mean life. I would love and I would dedicate my life to this country, but I see it as being a mean life, and I also see it as somebody with strong views and somebody with the kind of views that are maybe a little bit unpopular, which may be right, but may be unpopular, wouldn't necessarily have a chance of getting elected against somebody with no great brain but a big smile.
So basically, he says, I would devote myself to America and making America better, public service. He has. It's called entrepreneurship. It's called putting other people first, bringing a product and service to the marketplace, and then hoping it works. And then if it works out, you get to make a financial profit, and if it doesn't, you're basically fucked for the rest of your life because your credit sucks and no one wants to touch you. So he built hotel buildings and made people's lives better, and they talk shit about his steaks and his wine and all this shit, but it's like, hey, as an entrepreneur, you got to try a bunch of different recipes until you figure out what works. All these people talking shit about Trump wine and Trump steaks. Oh, I'm sorry. When was the last time that you were even in a position to create a company, nonetheless wanted to be able to fail? So fuck you. But no, same thing, same shit. Now we're gonna go to this clip in 1978, and he's gonna say some of the same shit.
This sounds like political presidential talk to me.
They're saying she's gonna run, but she said no, she's not going
to. Would you ever?
Probably not, but I do get tired of seeing the country ripped off.
Why would you not?
I just don't think I really have the inclination to do it. I love what I'm doing. I really like it.
Also, it doesn't pay as well.
No, it doesn't. But,
Donald Trump gives his entire salary away,
I probably wouldn't, but I do get tired of seeing what's happening with this country. And if it got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally, because I really am tired of seeing what's happening with this country, how we're really making other people live like kings, and we're not.
You've said, though, that if you did run for president, you believe you'd win.
Well, I don't know. I think I'd win. I tell you what, I wouldn't go in to lose. I've never gone in to lose in my life. And if I did decide to do it, I think I'd be inclined, I would say that I would have a hell of a chance of winning, because I think people, I don't know how your audience feels, but I think people are tired of seeing the United States ripped off. And I can't promise you everything, but I can tell you one thing: this country would make one hell of a lot of money from those people that for 25 years have taken advantage. It wouldn't be the way it's been, believe me.
You think? Same shit he's been saying the entire time, right? People are fucking us over. I could do it, but I don't want to. I'd kick ass. I'd probably win. But man, I just don't want to do it. Like, it's a pain in the ass, and he's still saying it today.
But you might be classified as an Eastern Republican. Fair?
Well, I guess you could say that, yes.
Which means kind of a Rockefeller, Chase Manhattan Republican?
I never thought of it in those terms.
How do you define it? Are you a Bush Republican?
No, I think I'm really, the people that I do best with are the people that drive the taxis. You know, wealthy people don't like me because I'm competing against them all the time, and they don't like me, and I like to win. The fact is, I go down the streets of New York, and the people that really like me are the taxi drivers and the workers, etc., etc. I mean, I really get
Well, then
great
why are you a
response.
Republican?
I have no idea. I mean, I am a Republican because I just believe in certain principles of the Republican Party.
You have flirted with the idea of politics. Now you're here at your first national convention. Does that get you interested in possibly making the plunge?
Now you have to tell me something. Who told you I flirted?
Well,
I didn't know that I flirted with.
Well, you took out full-page ads in the New York Times to talk about your foreign policy. Some people would say...
Strongly. I do feel very strongly about the country. I love the country.
So, same stuff. Been saying the same thing. Hey, you want to run? Nah. Would you win? Probably. I could probably kick ass. And he's talking about the foreign policy and all this. Same stuff. The entire time, same stuff.
You've become a role model in this country. The reason that your book sells, the reason that your board game sells, is because people are looking to leaders. People are looking for values, and you're one of the people. And it's you may dismiss it, but people are talking about, Donald Trump for president. What they're really talking about is Donald Trump, show us the way. Be the true white hat.
I'm, again, somebody that has a good instinct financially. I have had historically. I've followed markets. I've been going in the right direction, whether it's New York real estate or stocks or whatever. I know from a common sense financial standpoint that something
The dude
has
is
to
a
burst.
success
When
story.
a country is losing billions
See?
and
Look at
billions
that.
and billions of dollars a year, and when other countries
It's the
are
same shit it's
making
always been. It's just
hundreds
worse
of
now.
billions of dollars,
The dude is leading
something
from the
is going
front.
to burst,
He's
and it's gonna
he is the
start
American
here.
dream.
I know
Everybody
it.
wants
It's a
to be
question of
him.
when. To me, it's not a question if, it's
Even
a
Barack
question of
Obama
when.
said that.
And unless we're going to solve our problem, and the problem is caused by our allies, unless we're going to solve that problem, this country is in very, very big trouble. And I'm not talking recession kind of trouble, I'm talking depression kind of trouble.
Would you really like
And he
to
was right.
take over and run the country as you have run your
I
organization?
would much prefer that somebody else do it. I just don't know if the somebody else is there. I don't know if we have the kind of advocate that you need. We need major surgery. This country needs major
Are
surgery.
you the surgeon?
I think I do a fantastic job, but I really would prefer not doing
He's
it.
doing it.
Are you saying you will take it only if drafted?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I hope that somebody comes along who can be an advocate, and I think that somebody will be so popular.
But you haven't seen
he
anybody.
or she
Yeah.
will be the most. But I don't see it now. I wish that person were there. But again, I do know one thing. It's not a question. This country is losing hundreds of billions. It's not a question if, it's a question when.
Our allies are jacking our shit for everything we have because we've been playing the fool for too fucking long, and this dude is sniffing his shit out because the whole deal is, like I said, he's leading from the front. He is successful. He understands what it takes to win the right way. Sometimes you need to get your fucking hands dirty, and that's fine. But the dude knows. He's a billionaire. It's the only thing everybody on the fucking planet wants to be. And people are scoffing at him like he's like some stupid guy. It's like, come on. Come on.
I have never understood how this is possible. I have never understood how somebody throughout this country didn't sue the United States government and have that overturned. I mean, you had people, investors, investing over a 10-year period for under a set of conditions. And this is, as I was talking before, playing the game. We're all playing by a certain set of rules. The rules were changed.
He
for
wins
government,
at the
but they weren't
game.
changed for us. I mean, it was an incredible circumstance that happened. And people went bust by the hundreds of thousands. And I hope you weren't one of them in terms of that, but obviously you know a lot of people that were. They changed the rules on taxes. And you have some incredible situations where people guaranteed personally a stream of payments to be paid over a 10-year period based on a stream of tax benefits for perhaps a very good job, like a low-income housing development. Nothing wrong with that, a very positive thing. And after 2 years, they got wiped out with the taxes, and yet they still owed all of this money. And many of these people, most of these people, had to declare bankruptcy. They couldn't pay it. Made my life to this.
No, you're good. Keep on. Man, same stuff.
Currency that you write about and understand, and all of the other things that they do. And frankly, if I were them and if I could get away with it, I take my hat off to them, frankly. They do get away with it. And I hire companies all the time, and it's so hard for our companies to compete against Chinese companies. I mean, these companies have such an advantage, whether it's glass for a curtain wall or whether it's, and you use the term because you know what's happened, sheetrock. I mean, they used to give us sheetrock, just give it. And everybody that was unfortunate enough to use Chinese sheetrock had problems. I mean, problems like where people were dying from it. The good news, Steve, our product is much better, but with the manipulation of their currency, it's very, very, very hard for our companies to compete.
What was that, 2005? So this motherfucker's 15 years ago saying the same shit. It's like, the people don't like him so much, they're not hearing what he's saying. They hate him because he's telling the truth. It's like that thing where you're a fat guy and someone says, hey, you're like super fat, and you get offended. People get offended because it's true. If someone told me I'm not a hard worker, I don't get offended because I know I'm a hard worker. Donald Trump, he lets shit slide off his shoulder because he doesn't care. He knows who he is. He's confident in what he's doing. People loved him when he was a Democrat. He used to hang out with Al Sharpton and all those boys. And then when he was like, nah, I'm just going to do whatever I want now. I'm not going to be a water carrier for the fucking Democratic Party. They all ate his ass. They were all like, screw you, you're a loser, racist, sexist, homophobic. Stupid shit, man. We'll see what he said in 2012.
But I'll certainly do whatever is necessary and however I can help, whether they want me to make speeches, whether they want me to contribute, raise money, I'll do whatever I have to do. We need somebody great as a president.
I know that you were mentioning that Aaron and I did a kind of an interesting video not that long ago in August about how things have fallen apart. But at that point, the only people who were saying it were us and you.
I was saying it. I was saying it a long time ago. And frankly, they're talking about 50 basis points. I think you should drop it a point, a full, solid 100 basis points, and just sit back and see. And I was actually looking at somebody, a gentleman from Goldman Sachs was saying 175. So that's going to be interesting. But I think that's ultimately going to be happy. And it would be nice if Ben could get now ahead of the curve instead of always being behind the curve. He's behind the curve. Say what you want about Alan Greenspan. He was always slightly ahead of the curve. Right. And that was always brilliant. And he had this incredible reputation. I think Ben has to get a little bit ahead of the curve. He has to do something dramatic. And I really think what he should do is surprise the hell out of everyone and do it 100, and let's see what happens.
That would be big. Any politician, do you think, has the pulse? Anyone running for president has the pulse of what you know about the economy?
Well, the biggest problem is something I never hear about. I told you about it once. Every time they lower interest rates, the cartel, because I call it a cartel, right, the illegal monopoly raises oil prices, okay? So the monopoly, because that's all it is, it's a total illegal monopoly. If businesses ever formed OPEC, everybody would be put in jail. Here they are, and every time a country hits oil, they're invited in to the cartel, okay? It's a disgrace. So what happens is every time interest rates go down, oil prices go up, and it's the same number. I mean, practically the same money. So they lower it, they raise it, they lower it, they raise it. Now you have oil that's close to 100, going to be over 100, and nobody in this country calls and says, get that damn oil price down.
Donald Trump.
You get
his,
it down.
Campaign slogan should be, finally, someone with balls. Right? We need someone who's going to be saying this shit. So, let's play one more.
But I have to tell you that our country is in serious, serious trouble.
4 years ago.
We owe $17 trillion our debt. How do you pay off 17 trillion? Nobody ever heard the expression a number of years ago. The word trillion. We have debt that's beyond belief. We have deficits that nobody can even comprehend. China, which I've been talking about for the last 5 years, yesterday, right in our face, They just devalued their currency. Now, for those that don't understand devaluation,
This bro right here.
what they're
He
basically
has a
doing
hand on
is
the pulse,
saying,
man. This guy understands what's
we're
going
really
on. He has
ripping
for a
you big
long
league.
time.
Nobody's ever done it better than us, but now we're going to really do it again. And the reason they did it, and everybody was surprised by it, was because our leadership is so weak and so pathetic that they can get away with it. And believe me, they're taking our jobs, and they're taking a big league. And China's not the only one. You look at other countries, they're all doing the same thing. They have no respect for our leader, and frankly, they have no respect any longer for our great country. And it's so simple to solve. What we need is a strong economy. What we need is jobs. Now you hear these phony job numbers, 6.7%. The 6.7% is probably 21 or 22% real numbers. When you give up looking for a job, it's like they consider you employed. It's amazing. They changed this. You know, in the old days, if you had people that couldn't find work, they couldn't find work. Today, such a huge number.
So that's just the whole deal, man. People hate him because he's successful. They hate him because he has power. They hate him. They hate us because they ain't us, man. He's been saying the same shit for forever. He's been right the entire time. People used to care about what he had to say until he was the president. Until now he's in a place where he doesn't have to take shit from anybody. He went from being, one of the most successful people on the fucking planet, and now he has to take orders from over thousands of people on a daily basis. And he's the only guy that took a step down to be the fucking president, man. I feel honored that, like, because he could be doing so much better shit. Like, you know how hard running a population of 330 million, million people? That's got to be a pain in the ass. The dude, he'll probably lose all his fucking hair. I'm sure it's, running a huge empire is super stressful, but running a country, Jesus. And then not only the best country in the world, we're like seen as like the go-to people on the planet. So shit's crazy. And so maybe we'll put a link to that exact video in the lower description, so you can send that to people with a punch in the face, so that way they can understand that they're just talking shit. Donald Trump knows what he's talking about. People like him. They've always liked him. And it's this false narrative that's being perpetuated by people that haven't done the research and think that he is this reality TV star we elected because these stupid rednecks came out of the forest and overwhelmed the voting thing. It's like, it didn't happen. It's not ever going to happen. And these people, it's like you literally were trying to prop up a corpse and put her in office, but she was a career criminal who has literally killed tons of people. But you're complaining that we have a reality TV star who's a racist, sexist, homophobic bigot. It's like, no, that's not true. So, yeah, man, episode 16, Wes is the best. Check us out on www.truetube.media.